yeah. Carbros USA, yeah.
This is Carbros Podcast, episode 62.
The Big 6-2.
the big 6-2.
Coming at you not live.
Yeah, coming at you not live and
recorded live.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Due to the last time we did a podcast, the Wuhan virus was kind of a minor league.
Yeah. It hadn't hit the shores of America really yet.
It's kind of a like bush league.
Mm-hmm.
It was just lurking.
Yeah.
It's kind of an underdog. And now it's like
now it's been called up to the big league.
Yeah, now it's like slugged its way to the front of our hearts. So due to this, we were gonna like ignore the social distancing guidelines and still do it live. Personally, I deem this an essential business.
Yeah.
But we thought we'd do the responsible thing, set a good precedent, and do it not near each other. So this is the new format for the immediate future.
Yeah.
And so on that note, the way we're going to do this now, since it's not live, but we really enjoy the audience interaction, that was one of the great parts about it being live, is if you are a patron, we're going to start pre-posting some of the topics and let patrons respond to them and ask questions and kind of add their input ahead of time, so that then when we do the podcasts, we will at least have patron input so we can bring that stuff in. So we did that for this one. Patrons got to see some of the topics we'd have, and they got a chance to put their input in. So,
and also they could submit their own questions and comments that weren't related to our own topics. Yeah.
Yeah, so this might even end up being a bit more interactive than it was before. Mm-hmm. Let people steer it a bit more than it used to be. So hopefully this works out pretty well. I got a good feeling about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be short-lived, but at any rate,
we'll see. Mm-hmm. We've got enough canned beans to should be fine. On that note, if you are interested in becoming a patron, either to support us or to be a bigger part of this podcast, there's a link in the description below, or you can Google Carbros Patreon. We really appreciate that support. That is the main lifeblood of Carbros at this point. The other lifeblood is the Kickstarter. So we did a Kickstarter for Jack Diamond's Garage, a semi-reality TV show, which
I don't know. When did that end? It feels like it was like months ago, but I think it was like
2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
No, I think it was like 2 days after the podcast.
Right. Yeah. It was early March.
At the time of this recording, it's like 4.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It feels like months.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot has happened since then. Mm-hmm. But that is now funded. The production of that might be a bit delayed because of all this nonsense. Mm-hmm. But we don't really have a lot of clarity on that. But there's a lot to do before that point anyway, so we're still working on that. But a huge thank you to everyone who made that happen.
Yeah, there was some last minute stuff that kind of pushed us over the edge, and that was
heroes.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah, specifically Ben Long. I mean, everyone came together, but a couple different people, notably Ben Long, pitched in at the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sup Ben? Because Kickstarter's all or nothing. You know, it's not like, well, here's $2,000.
Yeah, right.
I think that's for the better that they do it that way, but it gets kind of dicey at the end because, like, if you're not going to hit it, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, watch it all slip away.
Yeah. And so because of that fact, it encourages you to really shoot for the minimum viable amount. You know, it's a good balance. But anyways, special thanks to everyone who like stepped in at the last minute. There were a number of you heroes at the front line to make that happen. So that is underway. We certainly did not spend all of the funds on toilet paper.
Only half.
Yeah.
Only 60% of it is used to stockpile
Did we talk about how we may have like openings for people to be on it when we once we get around at filming, but which at this point we don't know when, but we're going to do kind of like an open call out for anyone that's relatively in the area that would be down to be an extra or have like a minor part or whatever. We can figure that out, but that's in the cards. So
yeah, we'll probably say like whoever's interested, and then we will probably write a part for them. Some like minor.
We'll need a few headshots for each person.
Yeah.
There'll be a strict interview process.
Some casting couch situations.
You're probably gonna have to sleep with one of us, but you can be rest assured that you'll be in there.
Well worth it.
Yeah. So that is happening. That is coming along. Yeah, it's just a little mixed up due to the Wuhan.
As with everything else.
Yeah.
As with every other facet of American life outside of Netflix. It's been changed by this. Apparently calling it Wuhan is offensive. So
it's been brought to my knowledge.
It has been.
We're well aware.
Lawyers,
but we're going to keep going.
Lawyers have indicated that calling it Wuhan is potentially an offensive thing to say. So.
But we've dug in on our point of view. We're not going to hold back.
So because of this, we were considering, instead of the Wuhan virus, calling it the Sichuan sniffles.
We're open. Got a few things in the think tank.
Other suggestions?
Yeah.
Yeah. So either way, we're down for either one. And though this is no laughing matter, here are some coronavirus related humorous observations. It's not funny except for these points,
which are really funny.
One of them, which at this point is kind of calmed down, but the corporate like virtue signaling, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, this was going on like even before it got crazy. It was like a month ago.
This definitely started happening like around the time of the last podcast. So
yeah,
we're a little late to make fun of this, but the first one I noticed, I mean, basically what I'm talking about is like every email list you've ever signed up for.
Yeah.
Apparently now is like a method to remind you about these companies you don't give a shit about.
Right. Yeah.
Telling you how they're responding to coronavirus. And so it started, the first one I got was, I think, from Delta. And they were like, hey, airlines. And they're like, hey, because of this, we're going to extend our cancellation or like flight change policy.
Yeah, like no fees or whatever.
Yeah, like no fees. And we're going to extend it a year, basically. And so it was a useful email.
Yeah.
It was like, here's what we're doing. We're responding to this.
Yeah, we've changed our policies that actually are a big deal. Yeah. Yeah,
we've changed our policy, and you were probably wondering, and so here's what we've decided to do. And so that was the first one I got, and I was like, oh, like, okay, cool. And then I think the second one I got was from another airline, because they were probably like, oh, shit.
Delta did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the second one I got was like Southwest, and it was like, we're like extra wiping down the planes or something. It was like, and then they were like, we've always had a good like cancellation policy, so we don't need to do anything there or something. It was like kind of not as useful, but I was like, yeah, airlines, you know. And then it just apparently it just started this like avalanche of these like irrelevant
company,
fucking 2-bit corporations. Like, oh shit, we care.
We better weigh in on this.
We better let them know. And so it culminated with, we'll put the screenshot in here. This is the Schwab.
Oh yeah, the Les Schwab. Yeah,
the Schwab tires, letting you know that in this dire time, they're like spraying down their counters.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to say is like we're still open. I think that's what a lot of them turned into. But like,
right.
Yeah.
this one was definitely the worst.
Right.
Because I was
actually, I think the worst one was that like I got one from like whenever you buy a car or even like inquire about a car, you usually get put on the dealer's like email list.
Right. Yeah, you're like on the
And I got one
sucker list.
Yeah, it's just like Central Valley Chrysler is like wants you to know that like all of our salesmen will be washing their hands.
We've implemented
they're just
hand washing.
That was a few weeks ago, but
yeah,
before they like almost closed down, they're like, please.
Yeah. We've refilled the soap dispensers in the bathroom.
Yeah, all the early ones I got were just like we've installed hand sanitation stations around our store or like around everything. Then the best one, was the Les Schwab one, where just literally said like we're closely monitoring like the situation and stuff like that. It mentions no increase in like sanitation, but they're just closely.
There's like, well, Steve has been let go, so, you can feel safe.
Our regional manager was coughing, and so we terminated him.
We've upped our hygiene standards, and several of the employees didn't make the cut.
We just wanted to let you know. Yeah, we were like spraying some Lysol on the tires. I think it was just like, oh shit, like companies are sending these out. Like, hey, copy that boilerplate one.
Yeah.
Delete everything that has to do with something actionable, and then blast
change everything from like 1-800-Flowers to tires.
Yeah.
Blast it out to our 6.3 million person email newsletter. Yeah. Anyways, that was pretty sweet. It seems to have died down now. Everyone kind of like shot their shot.
Well, half the stores or restaurants are like closed now, like, or takeout only, Yeah. So it's like they can't even remind people like come in.
They've drawn their line in the sand.
Yeah, we were also joking about like schools got fucking rocked by this. Like business is all kind of like, hey, when do we go back to work, or like when's the or like work from home? But schools got just shut down, and like fucking like students really got like messed up pretty bad from this.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that they probably don't want to go.
Except most kids are just like, oh, sweet, like 6 months of summer. Yeah.
Kids don't care,
And teachers probably don't care.
Well, teachers. I feel for the teachers because they are getting absolutely shafted out of this. If it's like, oh, put your class online.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like there's
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And like working from home is one thing. Yeah, I'm not sure what the status is on that. If anyone is a teacher or in high school, you can let us know. But like if you work from home, it's like, all right, let's figure out how to still get this done because it's your job. And most people are like, most people are decent at their job. At least people who listen to this podcast. But like school, like kids don't want to be in school,
Right.
And so it's like a class of 30 kids who like don't want to be there in person, and now they have to be on their laptop.
Like, can I go to the bathroom?
Yeah. But we were joking about like, imagine all the.
Yeah, we had this like, we had this image of like maybe like January or something, like maybe like a sunset on the bleachers, and a bunch of like seniors like sitting around like, well guys, this is it, like 2020, like
it's gonna be our year.
This is our time.
This is our year, boys.
These are the memories that are gonna last a lifetime.
It's our senior year, and we've worked hard. It's time for us to make some big changes.
We're gonna leave our mark.
We're gonna leave our mark on this school.
I was joking about that, like some imaginary kid that was like, he had a crush on the popular girl, and he was building up the courage. Be like, this year I'm gonna ask her to prom, bro, and she's gonna like say yes, and it's gonna change my life. We're gonna be dating. I'm gonna be so happy, and then she's like, boom, prom's canceled. Like, suck on that.
Or like the guy who like Like the seating chart had him next to like Stephanie in
Yeah.
algebra. It's like, oh
Ooh,
shit.
she's my lab
gonna
partner. Yeah.
Yeah, like lab partner. I'm gonna slowly befriend her and build her trust through the year.
Yeah.
And she'll finally see how good we are together. There's nothing that can ruin this.
Speaking of that, one of our patrons, Chris Coyne, wrote in and he said,
Yeah, my bro. What's up, Chris?
He said, what about the poor guy who did ask the popular girl and she said yes? Boy, that guy is screwed.
Yeah.
In theory, of course, since that guy doesn't exist, what girl would want to go out with some Amazon basic loser?
Yeah. So setting aside how funny that scenario is calling someone Amazon basic.
Yeah. That was news to me. I found that pretty awesome.
Is that like a criticism? I missed
out? I mean, are there people out there who like shop on Amazon who don't have Prime?
No, Amazon Basic.
That's not what it is, bro.
Yeah, that's like when you buy a USB cable and it's like,
it doesn't have a brand name.
Right. Okay. Yes. Yes.
It's like, do you want the like monster cable or do you want the Amazon Basic one?
The Chinese knockoff, essentially. Yeah.
Dude, you know what they should do? Oh, I guess it's tough because you can't deliver it everywhere. But Amazon Basic beer.
Oh God, that'd be so good.
Amazon Basic Light.
It's just repackaged Coors.
Yeah.
The day that happens, we're gonna be cracking the fuck out of a few of those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, our hearts go out to all the like high school guys and girls who are gonna like shake things up this year. Like
captain of the tennis team that was going for the state championship or something.
Yeah, we should make a movie about like the nerdy girl who like gets a makeover and then she's hot, but then school's canceled anyways.
She never gets to make her debut.
Shit. Yeah.
No one ever noticed it.
No one. It was all for nothing. She let her hair down and took her glasses off for nobody's admiration. Okay. Transitioning into cars slowly.
Oh, yeah,
still
cars.
Yeah.
Still coronavirus related.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna bridge the gap. But I was thinking the other day about like the concept of a cannonball run is like it's kind of gaining popularity. I mean, it was big in whatever the 60s or something.
70s, yeah.
70s, and then it kind of died, and then it was like kind of coming back in like early 2000s, and now it seems like it appears to be a record. If you don't know, it's the East Coast to the West Coast, and there's like a specific route you can do, and it's how fast can you drive from like it's like Manhattan or something to somewhere in LA. I suspect it's going to be something that's broken like every 2 years now until someone has like a horrific crash. And it's like, okay, no more cannonball runs, guys. But they usually do it on like Memorial Day or something because it's like they'll try to calculate like when
lowest traffic.
Lowest traffic. I was like, dude, if somebody is not fucking doing a Wuhan cannonball run,
yeah, when the roads are barren, yeah,
they're dead. Especially like big cities that usually wouldn't. I mean, I think a place you lose a bunch of time is like New York.
Yeah. I saw someone post like the Google Maps like traffic view of like just the Los Angeles area, and like everything it was green, and it was like 3:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, and like the caption was like, "I'm assuming it's all the non-essential workers who are the shitty drivers."
Yeah, all the white collar, those desk jockeys. But yeah, it's like it's funny to think about. Like, there's got to be some cool like photography that you can do too.
Yeah,
like, this is a really good time to shoot like a Ken Block.
Right. You don't even need permits at this point.
Yeah, you just like fly your drone. Yeah. Okay, so cars.
Back to cars.
That's what this podcast is about. Yeah.
Welcome to Car Bros. Wuhan Bros. So I don't know where did this come from? We're gonna start with a real hot topic.
Real hot take.
I just remember like this just came up on something, and I was like, "Do you guys like this?"
Okay, so this is the the Pininfarina, which is what, like a design house, a design studio.
Yeah, pretty well known one.
I mean, they've got their name on a lot of iconic designs. But
Yeah,
apparently
they've pinned.
Are they like a coach builder too, or something?
Apparently they're trying to be.
So this is a supercar. This is an electric.
Well, you didn't even say the name of it yet. It's the Pininfarina Battista Anniversario. I think that's it, right?
Pininfarina Battista Anniversario.
There we go.
$3 million
hypercar, electric. Yeah, electric
hypercar.
Mm-hmm.
So we have already covered our thoughts on electric hypercars previously.
But they're awesome, and we love them.
Let me just give you a reminder. Is that they're probably one of the lamest
yeah
cars I can think of.
Especially because even this one they didn't actually build this one, right? They just designed it. And
I'm not sure.
No, it's coming out. No, they're building 5, bro. They're building 5.
Doesn't make
but they haven't built it yet, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's probably been delayed.
Get to it.
Yeah.
But it's just this car is like, it's like, okay, take every like supercar trope that you can,
including the name,
and then like spin a wheel, like roll some dice and like pick some shit out of a hat on this car. And they're all, I mean, especially the electric ones. Oh, it's built on a Rimac.
Oh,
Rimac powertrain.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. But they're always like, this has like 1,000 horsepower.
Right, yeah. They always just like pull these specs out of their ass.
This one's 1,874 to be exact.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's just like, who cares? Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to ride in it. I don't.
Yeah. Do you want me to floor it for you?
Yeah, if it was like, okay, there's like a press event in San Francisco and you just have to drive there and you can ride in this thing for free. I'd be like, nah. I'm not gonna
you don't want to go 0 to 60 in like 1 second?
I mean, truly, it's like, here's the thing, at least for me, the whole point of supercars was the looks and the motor. Yeah. It's like, when it comes down to it, there's a bunch of other cool shit about them, but really it's like, what do they look like and what's the powertrain? And the looks have gotten so generic in the last like decade or whatever. They all kind of look the same. Like,
at least from these like, especially from these like off-brand supercar companies, like not the Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff, but
I mean,
like
sure.
Garrett said, this just looks like a Grand Theft Auto like the car like that you just would get in the game. It's just generic supercar with a lot of wings.
I think McLaren kind of does this too a little bit. Like the P1 is kind of bordering on a little generic. The 720S is pretty awesome. Like they've changed it enough, but I don't know. Basically, like the looks, they don't do it for me the way they used to. Maybe that's because I'm older. I'm not sure.
And I think there's just a lot more of them.
There's certainly more of them.
It used to be like if there's a supercar, like you knew what it, like you would be like, oh, that's a Bugatti EB 110 or something.
Yeah, the
Now there's like, is that the Rimac?
Yeah,
Spiker Apollo or something? Like, shut up.
It's like the looks are I mean, it's still cool looking. Like a lot of work has clearly gone into this and the aero and all that stuff. So, but this, it's kind of saturated. And then the motor is essentially just a power number now.
Like, how much wattage do you want? Yeah.
It's like
batteries.
It's like a number. Yeah, I'm about as excited reading about this as I am, where it's like Intel's like 9th generation of processors.
It's 10th generation now, bro. Come on, get with the times.
It's like, this one's like a 3 gigahertz, like 4 core. You're like, sick.
It's got 12 cooling fans.
Like, cool. Like, what's the thermal capacity? I mean, it's uninspiring. And so it's like, who cares? But apparently somebody's buying these.
Chinese.
I mean, I feel like, it's just like, you've got some like very wealthy people.
Mhm.
I mean, they're pretty smart to do it. Truly, if you can make 5 of anything and make it worth $2 or $3 million, I'm
Make
not
it
surprised
profitable.
people are doing it. Because like, go for it. Apparently, someone will buy it.
Yeah.
Just because it's expensive.
Mhm.
But yeah, I see elements of like many different cars in this thing.
Batista.
Yeah. Anyways,
I wonder what the anniversary is of though, since it's the first one.
they said it's celebrating their 90th anniversary of Pininfarina,
There you go.
Damn.
which
Wow.
I kind
Congrats,
of
guys.
doubt.
You did it.
I don't think it's like, all right, guys, the big 9 zeros coming up.
Finally. We've been waiting 9 decades for this.
Yeah, I think it's just like, oh, you know, this is kind of near the 90th.
Uh-huh.
That could be the reason.
Anniversario.
So, anyways, there it is. I won't be buying one.
No.
This is just a long.
I thought about it, but no.
Yeah.
I was about to
cool.
put a deposit down, but no.
Not cool enough. Okay, what is this? Patron content.
Oh no, we still got
no.
one. We got one more topic.
Oh yeah, cars were hot for. So I had this idea for like a segment that was like.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
like
We're
kinda
still waiting on
recurring.
this intro music, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody suggested some reasonable, like small YouTube channel artists for us to get theme music from, so that might still happen. But
There you go.
as of now, they don't exist. But so this segment was just going to be called "Cars We're Hot For," because like pretty much every month there's some new thing that we're like trying to excite ourselves enough.
Mhm. Yeah, in the
About
group
to buy.
text message, one or both of you is
Yeah.
just like, damn,
It's like,
look at
John.
this car. Yeah.
John never takes part in these.
No, rarely.
John's old,
Uh-huh.
old steady.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Steady hands.
Yeah, old fair weather John. But it's kind of like we'll be like, oh, Miata for like a week. Like I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna get one. Then you have a whole plan of what you're gonna do to it, and then it
I'm
just
gonna
never
buy
fucking
it.
happens. Yeah.
It's coming.
And I mean, part of this is like I really recommend if you are just like about to buy a car, just fantasize about it for about a month. And if you still want it,
Have it cooled.
Yeah.
then like go for it. But that's how you end up with like a gutted Jetta or something like in your garage, like with no motor and like 2 turbos on the workbench
Uh-huh.
and some big plans and like a pissed off wife.
And then you make the inevitable Craigslist post trying to sell it all.
Yeah, and her fucking like Mazda CX-3s parked on the street because your project car's in the garage. So anyways, that's a hot tip. So cars we're hot for. This is just like current things that we're totally gonna buy
Totally.
this month. I would say mine at the moment is okay, this is kind of a generic answer. But there's a little known company called Honda.
Look them up.
Yeah.
And they made a not very well known car called the NSX.
A little sleeper.
Look it up, folks.
I'll give you a second to Google it.
Uh-huh.
Speaking
Speaking of this,
many
like,
people
since we've been like
heard.
binging Netflix all the time lately, like I've been scrolling around and I see Senna is on Netflix, and the thumbnail for it is like he's like squatting down and he has a hose and he's like washing his NSX. Like that's the
you
thumbnail
should
they
put that
use.
shot
For
up.
this.
It's
Yeah.
a sick ass shot where he's like spraying down his NSX. Yeah.
Mhm.
If I owned an NSX, which I might in the next month,
Uh-huh.
I would definitely have that poster on my wall. But here's the thing. So NSX has like come and gone and then come back again and
Gone
like
again.
almost like gone again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it is well known and well loved. But the reason I am wanting one lately is I think people I think people misinterpret those cars, and there's a lot of talk about like, is it a supercar or not, or like, does it deserve to be? It needs more power, or like this or that. And the reason that I am wanting one more and more is that car is really just the pinnacle of '90s Honda, but not really the pinnacle of anything else. And people will be like, it's the most analog. It's like, it's not. It's not. It's not fast. It's like, it's not that sporty or whatever. It's just
it revs to like what, 7,200 or something.
Yeah, I think 8 or something. But it's like,
Okay,
it's a V6. Yeah, they don't sound good. Like, it's none of the shit that people try to inflate it with. It's not. Senna didn't.
It's a Formula One car for the road.
Senna didn't do shit. Like, let it go. It's like, it's none of those things. But if you like '90s Honda, it's the best of everything that you would have liked about them. It's gonna have the nicest build quality of any Honda or Acura. It's as hard as Honda could have tried on a product. All the ergonomics are going to be like peak Honda. It's still going to be reliable. They put maximum effort into this thing. And so it's a celebration of Honda. And it's really unique, and it's mid-engine, and it's low slung, and it looks cool and all that stuff. But it's like, I think they come and go so hard because people are like, they're so analog, and the new one's not analog, and these ones are analog. It's like, they're not that analog. It's no more analog than a Civic was.
If you want analog, just get a Model T or something.
Yeah, they feel like Acura Legend with like sportier,
better weight distribution.
Yeah, like better weight distribution. But it's just like, that car is a celebration first and foremost of Honda. Honda trying really hard in the '90s, and that's when they were great, and that's what we love about them. But it's like, I think I've seen the price of those things. I've watched them, and it's like, they've kind of exploded. And then, like, I think in the '90s it was like, this is truly as fast as whatever 356. What was the contemporary Ferrari?
And 348.
Yeah, it's like all the metrics that it was shooting for. It's like they hit them. But none of those are relevant anymore. They're just not. It's not fast. It's not even fast. It's actually kind of a slow car by standards. It's like a Cord V6 acceleration. And so the thing that has got me turned on to them is that period of Honda is it's always going to be loved. Even though I kind of feel like Honda's on a pretty good path right now, and we'll probably see a cooler but different peak of them. Like, the Type R they make now is like way better than the Integra Type R or something. Yeah. It's just very different, but you can't say like Honda's not better now than they were then in a lot of ways. But the '90s, at least the first generation NSX, the thing that's got me interested in it is just like, this is just Honda in a museum. This is just awesome celebration of Honda. So is a Type R, but I feel Integra Type R, but I feel like the ownership of an Integra Type R is just probably miserable. You just could not.
It's a jail sentence.
You just couldn't own that thing and like properly enjoy it and drive it around. Where I don't think NSXs are really stolen at the same rate. I mean, I'm sure that's a problem, but I don't know. An Integra, especially a Type R, it's like, is there any part of that car that you can't strip and sell for money?
Quite easily,
like,
yeah.
Down to like the window regulators.
Although I would imagine like by now, there's probably not too many Type Rs that are stolen, just because like they're all in fucking like climate controlled lot garages. When before, just you'd be like, oh, I just parked it in my apartment carport. Oh, it got stolen.
Yeah, you can't drive that car anymore. Where I think people still do with the NSX. I think there's still people who like like, yeah, this is my 91, and like, get it? I daily drive it because you can. You know, it's like,
Right.
It's not the best daily driver, but you can.
Sure.
Like, do so. Anyways, that is the car that I am currently hot for. I keep going back and forth between that and C5Z.
Damn.
Which would be like a way more fun, faster,
Even more of a beater.
you know. Yeah, just like beat on it. It's fast, whatever. But it's like, it just comes down to, I don't know, ownership kind of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Garrett?
NSX, hot tip.
Don't sleep on it, folks.
It's not a car yet, but the car I was most hot for is just the all the rumors going around the new STI, the 2021 STI, because they're actually redesigning the motor and pretty much everything. Like, it's going to be the new body style, new motor, you know, all this new stuff, because it's I own an STI, but it hasn't changed in 16 years or something ridiculous. So I'm just getting
about
excited.
That 2020?
Yeah, 2021.
Wait.
I think.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you wanted the last.
Oh no.
Oh.
Because the current STI is not that much different than mine. Yeah, it's a newer body style, and like, yeah, the DCCD is slightly different, and yeah, it makes like 5 more horsepower. It's like, you know, but the experience is going to be exactly the same as what I have in my garage.
You're just saying you're getting stoked for the next iteration,
right? Yeah, because like the motor is supposed to be like a FA24, which is like a variation of the current WRX motor, and blah blah blah. Yeah.
I think they will, like, I've been reading some stuff about that, and people are like, this is the end of an era, like, this will always be the better. I think Subaru is going to do a really good job with that car.
I hope so, yeah.
They don't strike me as a company that, like, they change so slowly that they seem to be pretty deliberate with their decisions, and I think they're going to, my hope, I guess everyone's is, but my suspicion is they'll hit that thing out of the park.
Yeah.
At least by like year 3 or whatever. Like,
I mean, people really liked the new WRX motor when it came out in 2015, the FA20. I mean, it has some weaknesses, I think, in like the bearings or something, you know, fail more than the pistons. That, like, the ringlings is what fails in like regular EJ motors, but the FA20 has like another weakness. But supposedly they're fixing that with the STI motor.
Beef it up.
Mm-hmm.
Beef it. Yeah.
Chris also wrote in about this subject, and he says that he likes the Toyota Mr. Spider, but he thinks that the bottom has passed on those. People were throwing them away 3 years ago.
MR Spider.
No, dude, it's Mr. Spider.
It's not Mr. Well, fine, it's Mr. Spider. Actually, hold on.
I'm reading what he wrote. It's clearly he wrote Mr. Spider.
I feel like that car would have sold a lot better if they had just called it Mr. Spider.
Mr. Spider, and like had some like cartoonish character that like
here he goes
with it. Yeah,
Mr. Spider. He's underpowered. He's almost cool, but not quite.
But Chris ends it and he says, on a tangent, is there a rear/mid-engine car you'd want less than a Fiero?
Oh.
Since
mid-engine.
Yeah, we're very familiar with the Fiero, so.
My mind went to Del Sol, and then I remembered that those aren't.
That's not.
It's not mid-engine. Those aren't mid-engine, right?
No.
It's like they're just shaped really weird for no reason. I would say, like, okay, we're definitely splitting hairs because there's few cars. Like, there are probably diseases I'd rather have than owning a Fiero. like we're talking pretty bottom of the barrel. But that Nissan NX thing, NX 1600 or whatever.
That wasn't mid-engine.
It wasn't?
No, that's like a Sentra underneath. Yeah.
You sure about that? Sean, bring it up.
I'm about 100% sure.
100%. Damn it. Well, I can't even think of a...
I'm trying to think. I mean, there might be something worse than like whatever the good Fiero was, like the GT, like the 88.
Yeah, you'd rather... I'd rather not have a 4-cylinder Fiero.
Yeah, but there might be something I would. Yeah,
Not that I'd ever
for
want
like
a
a regular
Fiero
Fiero.
or another Fiero, but I personally don't give a shit about VW Beetles, like the 60s ones. Like I know they
Yeah, I
have a
was
big
gonna
cult
say.
following and like people love them, but like it's fucking weak as hell in my opinion.
They're fine, I guess.
Well, it's just like
They-
super slow, super
The
dumb looking.
VWs are sweet. No.
I don't mean,
Garrett
like,
likes
sure,
Bad take,
people
bro.
can do cool stuff with them, but I personally don't care about Beetles.
Same thing as a Porsche, bro.
You'd rather have,
It's just a tall Porsche. I'd rather have a Beetle than a Fiero.
yeah, I'd rather have a first gen MR2.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, actually, a DeLorean is pretty shitty.
Oh,
But at least that's like iconic.
Right.
you
Yeah.
can sell it.
It's
Yeah.
it's a shittier car than a Fiero though. It's like slower and shittier
Right.
by like every metric,
Yeah,
except for the fact that it's famous.
I have very little interest in those.
Mhm.
Just don't do it for me. Yeah, I don't know. I think Fiero's probably.
Has somebody not made like an electric DeLorean? I feel like has that happened? That feels like a car that's like ripe for like an electric power plant.
Yeah.
Or even if someone just made an electric car with like a DeLorean body, I feel like a bunch of like hipsters would buy that.
Like a Model 3
Hmm.
body
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
I just want to address Chris saying, I think the bottom has passed on the Mr. Spider. I think not. I mean,
Yeah. Give it a
I
few
think
years.
he's doing this thing where it's like 3 years ago they were like $1,800 and now they're $2,200.
Damn.
like I missed the bottom.
We need to flatten that curve, bro.
I don't know. I think they're. I think we're still in the trench.
Mm-hmm.
You probably got,
Oh.
I'd say another 4 or 5 years at least.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those will ever come back. They're
They will a little bit. Not, I don't know if they'll ever be like that popular.
they're certainly good platforms for projects. I think that's what people are probably buying them for.
Right? Yeah. No one's like keeping one pristine.
Yeah, I'm sure 2 people are. Yeah,
I came really close to buying one of those like 2 years ago.
Oh,
Oh,
3
really?
years. but like I test drove it, but it was that like bright yellow color,
Yeah.
and it was like really clear that it had been repainted like bad. And I was like, eh.
oh.
And so I ended up getting a Miata instead.
Yeah.
Even though they're quite a bit more comfortable than a Miata, which is nice. But
Yeah, they're good cars. They just weren't cool enough. Well, and following the second gen MR2.
yeah,
It's like legitimately a cool car in its
Mhm.
time, and like looked aggressive and like
yeah, poor man's Ferrari.
had a fast version and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'd say we're still in the bottom. Buy it up.
Right in that bottom of the barrel,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
skimming the bottom.
Yeah. Skimming that wood.
Mhm.
Okay, some Patreon questions.
All right. So I'm going to butcher this name, so I apologize in advance. It's Ganench Meat?
We
Is that
think
what-
we believe it's Gonench.
Ganench Meat. So he wrote in and he says, "Here is something I've been thinking about in the hotel room I'm stuck in for the last few weeks because the country I need to go to has canceled flights until further notice." So that's
Ouch.
yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Hopefully that's
sucks.
not still the situation for him, but so he says, to the regular person, say someone who can identify a Mustang but can't tell between V6 to V8, etc. What is the most expensive cheap-looking car? For example, the Phantom at the time that looked like a VW Passat, and the cheapest expensive-looking car. Like his example is the base model SLK Roadster.
He is talking about the Volkswagen Phaeton.
Mhm.
Which is so boring looking you don't even know it exists. Man, we'll put a picture of a Phaeton here, which is like, yeah, you could get it with a W12, which I'm guessing most of our audience knows this, but the W configuration. So Volkswagen they do a V6 with a single head.
VR.
So it's a 15-degree V6. So very thinly sliced bank, and it has one head. So it's a V6, but it shares a head. And then they will do 2 of those next to each other. So it's 2 V6s, but now in a V.
Now in a V, yeah.
And so it's 2 heads, but it's like a 4 arrangement. And that is what they call a W. And so like the Veyron has a W16. And the Phaeton had a W12, which I think was 2 Volkswagen VR6 motors in a W configuration. So they had a 12-cylinder Phaeton, which looked like a big Jetta. And I mean, I think it was a pretty incredible car. I think it was designed to just like.
Honestly, I don't even know if I've ever fucking seen one of those.
You may have.
Yeah.
you might see one a day.
But I mean, as someone that I keep an eye out for stuff like that, I honestly don't think I've ever seen one of those in real life.
Yeah, I think
maybe I have.
I've seen a not W12 one.
Oh, they made like a weak.
They made
V6
a V8.
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, V8. Like an Audi motor or something.
I don't.
Probably.
Sure. So that car was $100,000 in 04. Yeah, and it probably went up. I'm sure as the years went on.
Yeah.
Could go higher.
What did they make that thing like 04 to 06?
Yeah, 04 to 04 and a half. It's like they sold like 8 of them. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's a badass car. It's just not. It's like something you want to like see at a show, maybe. Although you can't even. It sounded like just an engineering experiment, really. I don't know. They're cool, but so that's his example of a car that is expensive
but looks cheap.
But looks cheap. And then someone else, Austin McEwen.
Yeah.
McEwen. He suggested Land Cruiser, and that's a pretty solid answer.
Yeah.
Those expensive car that looks cheap.
Yeah, those things are like 80 or 90 now. They still make them. Same generation. Those have always been pretty expensive.
It looks kind of like an 07 Sequoia or something.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a Highlander, really.
That's true.
Like they look like the. I mean, truly, they kind of changed it to update it a bit, but it's like if you pass one, you'll be like, "Oh, is that a Highlander? Is that the $30,000 one or the $90,000 one?"
Chevy SS is a pretty good one for that.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not bad.
Like,
yeah.
That's like a $50,000 car that looks like it's 25.
Yeah.
It looks like rental.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, and John kind of touched on this, of just like the expensive versions of like
Regular cars, yeah.
Yeah, like a GT500 versus a V6 Mustang.
Yeah.
But the M4 GTS, which was a 1-year like track special.
Is it like a flat black one?
There's something like that. It had like the big wing.
Yeah. With like orange accents or something.
Yeah. Here's a picture of one.
Yep.
But those were $140,000.
Jeez.
And they do look a little aggressive. I think people would assume it was expensive, but they'd probably guess like 3 Series expensive, and not like 911 Turbo.
Right.
Yeah.
For a cheap car that looks expensive, my thing was like the Polaris Slingshot. Like, because those, like, anytime I'm with like a regular person and someone sees one of those, they think it's like the coolest looking exotic car ever.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, dang, look at that. And I'm just like, dude, that's like super weak.
Thing's a fucking ATV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, I was trying to think of cheap cars that look expensive, but I don't know if I have a good answer to that.
I mean,
I
even
think
his example of a base model SLK Roadster, like that's still not that cheap. That's still like what?
Yeah,
40.
those aren't
50. I don't
Those
know.
aren't crazy.
Right.
Saturn Sky, maybe.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Some recent Mazdas look pretty expensive, but you still see a Mazda badge on it, so you're not gonna be like, "Oh, what is that? Like Bentley?"
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the worst offender for expensive but doesn't look it is Porsche 918.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that might be.
That's like $1 million car that looks like it costs like 150 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like. I mean, it's like when you see it from certain angles, you're like, "Oh, hold the fuck up! That thing's like pretty. That's clearly something different." But you could, at least in silver, the one we drove, it didn't get much attention. Like,
So it was a nice
blends
box.
in. Yeah.
like not driving. Like you kind of have to do a double take and like see the proportions. But yeah, for $1 million, you want to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Restrained. I will say probably another one is, I think new Mercedes, like a new S-Class, that has a look that's like pretty high end. It's like, damn, like big old Benz.
Right.
Even the new stuff. The new BMWs don't really. Like a 7 Series to me is like,
Yeah.
I don't know what they did with the new one, but I've seen a few of them. It's like, that's like a $90,000 car.
Mhm.
And it's like they've got some kind of Hyundai-ish look.
Little Kia.
Yeah, they're looking a little Kia. I mean, I think part of the problem is like the Korean manufacturers are like heavily biting on German styling.
They're trying hard.
Yeah, it's like there's just this like mishmash of like Audi, Benz, and BMW, and so it seems to be kind of hurting BMW more than Benz. Benz still has a pretty classy look. Yeah. Anyways, thank you for that, Gunench.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on, we got Flemingson, and he asks,
What's up,
yeah,
Fleming?
sup, Fleming. What are your thoughts on some manufacturers putting blatantly fake exhausts on cars? And then he also submitted a photo along with it of some Mercedes, I don't know, hatchback or SUV with the,
Yeah. Okay. So here's the picture he submitted. This Mercedes.
Yeah.
That is egregious. If you're listening to this audio only, it's like the bumper has some like chrome.
Yeah.
Pretty
Like
substantial.
wide mouth looking exhausts and then
Some
directly
chrome
underneath
kind
it,
of like
yeah.
exhaust, but they're not even holes in the bumper. They're
No.
just like chrome accents that look
Yeah,
like exhaust.
Yeah, and you can see the single exit muffler with like a little tiny like turn down.
Yeah.
tip on it.
little
like
little
6
dip.
inches prior to that.
Little flaccid looking tailpipe.
Yeah. So that one, like when manufacturers will do the like exhaust finisher on the bumper, and it's just a hole, and then like
With like a smaller pipe inside of it.
yeah, but like behind that is the real pipe. I don't really mind
Right.
that, and people
Yeah.
get so bent out. Oh, it's not even the real. It's like that muffler would be so expensive.
Yeah. Like why do you need that big of an opening?
Yeah, like it would. It's like it's fine. It's like it's fine. Why are you so mad about that? But the ones where it's not even a hole. It's not
Yeah.
even a
Yeah, nothing even passes through.
that
It's
one.
like, it's like
just
something you
doesn't
get at
make
like Pet
sense.
Boys and just fucking plastered on your car, like the gills that you can get at Pet Boys.
Yeah.
That, like, you put on the fenders. Yeah.
Like who is looking at a car and would be like, "Well, where's the exhaust? Like, why doesn't it have a tailpipe?"
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I feel like they could have just left that off. It's like
But I
it's a
think-
cleaner look.
I mean, most companies are doing this now just because direct injection motors, like the tailpipes get insanely dirty. Like they get very black.
That
And
why
so-
they do it?
Yeah. And
It's
so
just-
they just
it's-
put like the tailpipe point down and then they just put a fake exhaust muffler that is all chrome.
They do the like no pass through bumper.
Right, yeah, because even if they do the
Oh, okay.
pass through, that chrome plastic or whatever it is will
Yeah, you
get
get, like,
super black
black.
after like 2 months, and so
Uh,
I mean they have a
paving.
reason behind it, but it
Yeah.
does kind of suck.
I mean that's fine.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the first electric car to have those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
I
sweet.
sure
feel
it's
like
coming.
I feel like someone will do that.
Yeah.
That feels like kind of a Kia move.
Yeah. Not to name
like
any names.
like a quad
Kia.
exhaust on a Kia
Like
electric hypercar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It would be like an option. Yeah. So I don't know. Mixed feelings, I guess. About
So-
that. But cars that do have like just the tailpipe showing, like it does look kind of lame.
Yeah.
Like you see why they do the like bumper thing, like the
Right.
pass through. Can make a way fancier, cooler looking exhaust.
Looks more complete.
Yeah, I like it. I'm for it.
hmm
Mhm.
So-
Take that, Fleming.
I don't think he thought one way or another. Oh well, blatantly fake.
Yeah, I
He
think
showed
he,
his cards a little.
yeah. It was a loaded question or whatever that's called. Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you feel about these stupid car manufacturers?
Mhm.
So moving on, we got Keith Bruner. He writes in.
What's up,
He
Keith?
says, "Did GM take a step backwards in styling between the C7 and the C8?"
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
I don't
it's a
think so.
it's a wrong take, but it's hot.
I don't think the C8 is like amazing looking, but it's not like the C7 was that great either. I don't think.
Right.
C7 was kind of weak.
Yeah.
I think the back of the C7 is better than the back of the C8,
Yeah.
but they're both bad from the back. I don't really love the rear of either of them.
The C7 just looked like it was trying like really hard. Like it's just like, like look at me. I'm exotic.
Yeah. I mean, after like C6, 7, 8, they just look like specifically not even trying to hide it.
Oh,
ripping
yeah.
off Ferrari.
Ferrari, yeah.
Like I remember when the C6 came out, it was like, dude, that's a fucking 430.
Yeah.
Like they're clearly trying to rip off
Or what was
Ferrari. here.
what's that front engine Ferrari? It was like the 5 something.
Oh, the
five-
like
75.
Yeah.
It's like it had a lot of Ferrari feel to it. And then the C7, it was like, dude, that's like pure 456 or 458 rather.
458, yeah.
It was like that was why we put that in the Damien Stonebrook.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
the side by side shot, yeah.
It's like, dude, they're so close. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad looking car. It's just like, okay, you're like fucking, you're looking around,
Yeah.
you're like gaining some inspiration here, clearly. And the C8 is certainly the C8 looks pretty unique, but at this point, it's like I don't think anyone would be like, "That's a vet."
Right.
You know,
I
it's
feel,
like
I feel like the C8 is gonna like come alive with like whatever the Z06 is.
Yeah.
I feel like this one's kind of like that. This is like the 911 like narrow body versus like whatever the good one's gonna look like.
The thing that I worry that they will do is kind of what the like ZR1, the C7 ZR1. I don't think when the C7 ZR1 came out, anyone was like, "Damn, that is the look."
Yeah.
It was just like,
Do you want a bigger bumper?
it was like, oh, okay.
Mm.
It's not really a looker. And the Camaro ZL1 1LE is a little bit like that too.
Mhm.
It's just like, here's some fucking arrow, like arrow everywhere. And so I'm a little worried that the C8 Z06 is just going to be, I hope it's not that, but it probably will be. It'll just be like fucking more arrow.
It's
and,
wider.
like, more vents and shit.
Mhm.
I don't know. Do they already have a narrow and wide body version, or are they all the same
Of the
body?
Corvette?
Of the C8?
To
Yeah.
the C8? No, I think it's the same.
I think, yeah. I mean,
So they will
I don't
come
know
out
if
with a new body. I mean,
I'm not positive, but I would assume that it'll be substantially different. But who knows?
well, the C6 and C7 are a different body, right? Like the fenders.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Right.
or then then the Grand Sport. Yeah, it's the same. It's like the Z06 body with the regular engine.
So yeah, I'm hoping they go in like aggressive, but not like over the top direction with it, where it's just
Track
like,
monster.
Yeah, I just like but I don't know. I think it probably will be. I think
Mhm.
Chevy seems to really want to shoot for like magazine scores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this thing's gonna set a record on
By the
what
numbers.
yeah, and it's just
Mhm.
like that ship has just sailed, bro. Like
Mhm.
people, these cars have been out driving people since like the base C6.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like
She's coming around on me.
yeah, it's like we don't need a more capable chassis now. Like just make it. But I don't know. I think it's like that's their mode.
Mhm.
It's hard to. It's hard. You can't be like, okay, with this Corvette, we're gonna stop chasing ultimate performance.
Yeah.
We're gonna dial it back.
Yeah, it's like they almost need a new product.
Mhm.
Because are they killing the Camaro? I can't remember if that's
That-
confirmed or not.
That's the rumor, right there. Or it hasn't been confirmed, but that's like the scuttlebutt is that like after this gen, they're not going to like make a new one.
Yeah, I
like-
mean, while I am sad to see it go, it doesn't surprise me, and I
Yeah.
feel like there's definitely room for like a Camaro slash like slower Corvette.
Some that's just more kind of like a muscle car.
What they need
Yeah,
is like it's like the something more blue collar. Damn it! Like get
Right,
it like
yeah.
It's like the vet
Yeah.
is so upscale now. I mean, it's not, but it is. You know, it's like
Yeah.
they're really going for a wealthier kind of image.
They need more like something you could just pile the boys in.
Yeah, they need something like give me something for the boys. You know?
Maybe something with a bench seat.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would like to see the Camaro slash bottom rung Corvette spin off into something.
Nova.
Yeah. I mean, start something new. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Mm.
But I think there's room for that. I think
Yeah.
if they would like start a team that's like, okay, you don't have to be faster than anyone. Just make it really fun to drive
Yeah.
and like really fun to own and like show off in or something, or like
Mhm.
modify or something. Because like
Yeah.
pretty much everything else, including the Camaro, that's like this chassis is so capable.
hmm
Like
It'll rip your face off.
yeah, it's just like when you chase numbers, the car almost necessarily gets more boring. I think
Right.
you chase at least track numbers.
Yeah.
It's just like it's kind of the way it goes. Anyways, back to his question. Styling wise, I think they did a good job with it. I think Corvette is always a pretty safely styled car. It's like they're attractive. Like they're not.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
that
Like the C8 literally just looks like a C7 where they move the engine to the back.
Yeah.
yeah.
To me.
I think overall it's more attractive than a C7.
Yeah.
I maybe just because it's new, but
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious what it's going to be like once you see C8s like all over the place. Like you see,
I know.
you see like four a
Apparently
day.
they're I guess they're out now. I
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
seen one in the wild
out in
yet.
the wild.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to see like a base one driving around with like 2 inches of fender gap and shit.
Mhm.
like,
Nah.
like the kind of like one with like base wheels and stuff.
Mhm.
Like maroon.
Maroon on tan.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them. I mean, I assume they'll be everywhere because they look brand new. It looks like not really anything else
Right.
priced. You know, the new vet. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So to close us out on our tradition of ending the show with fast food topics, we have Tim Dempsey writing in, and he
What's up, Tim?
asks,
What's up, Tim?
"Where are the best hot chips? Macca's chips are universally loved, but I reckon KFC takes the take." Now, when I first read this, I had no idea what the hell he was talking about because I didn't understand.
Nor do I at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I don't. What the hot chips?
So I had to do some research and Google around. Turns out he's from Australia, and I found a BuzzFeed. Yeah. I found
Hey,
a
what's up, mate?
shrimp on the barbie.
Good day.
Oh, blimey.
So I found a BuzzFeed article from a couple years ago, and it turns out what he means are French fries, hot chips are apparently French fries, and Macca is a slang term for McDonald's.
Okay.
And also, apparently, the KFC in Australia actually has, or at least recently, real French fries, whereas here they're those potato wedges, which are just like, really fat. They still have the skins on them, but if you look up Australian KFCs, they have like real looking French fries that look similar, like McDonald's, Burger King, and stuff like that.
They don't have French fries here.
Not KFC.
Sorry,
like traditional
hot chips. Yeah.
They don't have traditional hot chips.
No, we have the potato skins here.
I mean,
or potato wedges or whatever the fuck they're called. And also I found out that apparently Burger King in Australia is called Hungry Jack's.
Damn, that's a way better name. Hungry Jack's versus Macca.
Yeah.
Heading over to Macca. I guess I don't actually know what Australian people sound like. Ew! I only have one. Yeah. I only have one voice.
Proper, give me some fish and chips.
Yeah. Mate. What about shrimp? Is the shrimp on the Barbie thing? Is that Australia?
That's like that's Outback Steakhouse and stuff.
Oh, yes. Macca or McDonald's does have pretty good fries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As long
They
as long as they're fresh, like within the first hour.
I would say that about any fry. Like
That's probably true. Yeah.
I don't think any fries are good after an hour.
yeah, when you microwave them.
Yeah, they really lose their.
I like to take them home. I like to take them home and boil them.
Yeah.
To reheat them.
Double fry them. Yeah.
And I mash them into a paste. Eat them like mashed potatoes. McDonald's is pretty good. Personally, I think In-N-Outs are the best because
we disagree.
Which most people don't like In-N-Out's fries.
Yeah.
But I like that they have very little salt on them.
Right.
So that's kind of my.
And
I think the In-N-Out fries are like okay, like when you're eating them like right next to one of their burgers, but like if you ate them by themselves, you're like these are kind of weak.
Yeah. Macca is pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just like pulling off on the side of the road to get some hot chips,
yeah.
Can't go wrong with Macca.
And you're pulling off on the side of the, what do they call the express tube?
Yeah.
When you're driving your Commodore
on the long and dusty trail.
I'm also a fan
highways.
of Jack in the Box's curly fries.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Getting a little crazy.
Arby's has pretty good curly fries too.
That's true. I forgot about Arby's until just now.
How is Arby's still in business?
It's
That's
gotta be like it's gotta be big
they?
outside of California or like something.
Is it? I feel like that place is just like a front for like Colombian, like
Maybe.
fucking like cocaine cartel or something. Like,
Yeah, Arby's and Long John's like the two places that I've never heard anyone ever want to go.
Yeah.
you know where I want to go tonight?
Arby's.
And everything else is open and there are no weird circumstances. Is
Mhm.
Arby's. You know what I could go for is just like 3.5 pounds of just meat.
With like that
Just-
melted Velveeta cheese on it or whatever the hell they put on it.
Roast
Horsey
beef.
sauce.
Yeah.
I just want a fucking stack of roast beef.
Mhm.
Nothing else.
We
like
got
a
the
store-bought
meats.
bun.
Nothing else. And I want fucking 5 of those things.
Yeah. 5
That's
for
all
five.
I've got
I-
$6 in my pocket.
That's all I want. I want some bun and a fucking stack of roast beef. But where could I go?
Arby's has your answer, bro.
But who has that? Oh, Arby's does.
Mhm.
And they just like doubled down on it. They weren't like, oh, maybe we should like change the
Diversify.
No. Yeah.
It's like, no, let people know we have the meat.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm gonna probably take his side on the Macca, considering we don't have the KFC ones he's talking about.
Yeah.
My favorite, well, my favorite fries are the one. It's not really like a fast food. It's just like any of the place that has that kind of like seasoning, whatever, on it.
Oh, you mean like Wiener Schnitzel?
Like fancy restaurant.
No, yeah, I mean like various just like independent burger shop. I think it's like a kind of like a universal seasoning.
Yeah,
there's
or it'll be
yeah,
like
yeah.
it'll be like some like non-chain burger place, and you
Yeah,
can
like
tray of
like
fries.
Doghouse Grill. Yeah,
Yeah.
You
like
can-
that. But that's not really like specific to a chain. But like
Yeah.
those are the fries that I like the best.
Right.
Damn, Macca should have some like seasoned fries.
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, now I want to try these KFC ones.
I know. When I saw them, I was like, oh fuck. And so I thought
He
maybe
says they're the best.
I know.
Damn. Let's see if he can send us.
Yeah, Tim, why don't you, whatever you call mailing something, why don't you post us?
Put it in the
Strap to a
post, yeah.
kangaroo.
Why don't you strap some Macca hot chips to the kangaroo and shoot them on over to the boys because we're hungry for a sampler.
Shoot him to the land up top.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Thanks for that, Tim. Okay, so I think we're gonna try to do. I don't want to promise anything, but 2 weeks from now, we're gonna try to do more frequently of these, since everyone's just at home, desperate for any sort of distraction from the crushing.
Can I just say, like, that's Coin and I have watched that Tiger King Netflix show. I just finished it last night.
Sweeping the nation.
Yeah,
Most
and, like,
people.
And all I can say is, like, that was pretty disappointing to me.
It was too
Tiger
hyped up.
King is like, well, it's not that it's hyped. It's just they dropped that.
Yeah, at the right time.
The most fortuitous moment, because it was like, hey, everyone's home.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the, like if the Irishman had come out?
Oh yeah.
It'd be the Irishman or whatever. But it's like, is the intersection of like trashy, acceptable reality TV and everyone is
Just
at home.
desperate
Stuck
to
at
watch
home.
something.
Yeah.
Everyone's at home. So, yeah. Good for them.
I've been watching the Netflix miniseries Pandemic like an idiot apparently.
Oh,
Bro, I got
Appropriate.
Tiger King.
If you want to join the water cooler talk,
Yeah, I know. Got to get in on it.
at the office that no one's going to.
Yeah, years from now in the history books, it's going to be like, there's going to be a chapter on coronavirus, and it's going to be like a bunch of different like exponential graphs and like Tiger King. Like, that'll be the like, remember 2020? Everyone learned about exponential growth.
If we can have Halloween this year, I guarantee you there's going to be 1 million fucking people dressing up as that guy this year.
People are talking about, oh, there's going to be a movie about it. Like, who the fuck wants to see a movie about that?
Yeah.
Fucking
If
desperate.
it came out now on Netflix, if they're gonna make a movie, they should do it in the next 2 weeks.
Like when I watched it, I was like, man, this better be like awesome. I was like, no, this is not that great.
You're just setting yourself up for
yeah. Apparently.
Anyways, once again, if you are interested in contributing to this new format, you can do so through Patreon. We are posting up our some of the topics ahead of time so that you can share you can weigh in. And I just got to say, the upcoming ones are pretty hot.
Oh, we're just taking a little peek at what's
I'm just
down the pipe.
Yeah, I'm looking up the road a bit, and people are gonna have some opinions. So, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're safe. Hope you are washing your hands and avoiding breathing as much as possible.
I hope everyone's staying inside like the real heroes.
Yeah,
that this time calls for.
I hope you're during the test of our generation. I hope you're rising to the call and
doing fucking nothing,
staying in your house and watching Tiger King. Brave men and women. We should make some like, what are those like? It's kind of like World War II style posters. You know, that like comic look.
Yeah.
You like
do your part.
Like buy war bonds to support the whatever. We should just have like a guy slumped on his fucking couch,
covered in potato chips.
Yeah, just covered in Cheeto dust.
Only you can stop the virus by not leaving your living room.
Yeah, triple your Wi-Fi usage. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you probably semi soon. I'd say 2 weeks. I'm just gonna say it now.
We're gonna shoot for it.
We're gonna shoot.
We're gonna set you up for disappointment right now.
Yeah. Par for the course.
Mhm.
So thank you guys for being here. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time.
See ya.